Hey famous warrior, welcome back to our channel. You guys probably don't know this about me because maybe it doesn't like show off the bat, but I'm very into fashion and clothes, and as a creative that stuff is important to me. But as a mom of a daughter who is a little bit of a fashionista herself, an upcoming fashionista, clothing and fashion is important to me. So today I'm sharing that side of myself with you guys by having this amazing, what I think is going to be an amazing conversation with someone who's become a friend. This is Marianne, co-founder of Finders Keepers Zambia, and she's taken the time to sit here with me today to talk about all things fashion for you famous warriors out there. So I hope that this will be not only an enlightening conversation, but also an interesting conversation that can get you guys thinking more about your fashion or your fashion sense at home, either for yourself, for your spouse, for your friends, or even for your kids. So without further ado, Marianne, thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I know, me too. Yeah, like I said, Kiara is a little bit of a up and coming fashionista. She likes all things clothing. She likes dresses. She likes color. The other day, because right now she's not wearing a uniform because she's still in preschool, so she wears clothes every morning. So the other day she came into my room and she's like, "Mommy, the outfit that Frida picked for me is not nice."
Oh no, that's good. She can tell a bad outfit. That's great.
At 4, first of all, at 4, you even know what the word outfit means.
That's
let alone the outfit is not nice. So that's what I'm dealing with right now.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So to prepare myself and make sure that I'm at her level, because I don't think that I am at her level yet.
I think you are. She probably looks at you and she's like, I want to look like that.
No, she's like taking it to a
whole new level. But I feel like if you ask her nicely, they're probably clothes. Because I remember like my mom was she still is such a fashionista. Yeah. And I remember as a kid, I thought clothes shrink. And people don't grow. So there are clothes she had, and I'd be like, when that gets small, I want that. And whether I'd like to admit it or not, like her fashion sense definitely inspired me. Like there's a lot of her there, and then there's like me on top of it. Yeah. So I feel like that should be the case for her as well.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pull up my socks and make sure that I'm at that standard where she can actually say, I get this from my mom.
No, you're doing great. You look amazing today.
Thank you. So to get started in true famous warrior fashion, just to get the viewers settled into who you are as a person as they kind of delve into our conversation, tell us about yourself in 5 sentences only.
Just 5?
Yes, just 5.
Okay. I love coffee.
Okay.
That's a sentence, right?
Yes.
Okay. I love coffee. I'm a newly found gym rat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying going to the gym.
Okay.
I love fashion, obviously, but then I think thrifted clothes, to be specific.
Right.
I love the fact that these are clothes that already have a story, and then I'm just like continuing that life. That was not a sentence. I am 5 foot.
Okay. All right. So before we get into what you just said, thrifting and upcycling clothing, which I'm excited about because it's like a whole topic now out there. You know, when we were growing up, like I was raised by a single mom till I was like 11. And so because she couldn't afford brand new clothing, we would buy Sally's, what we would call Sally's growing up. But it wasn't like a cool thing. It was something that you wouldn't even like say like, oh, this is Sally's. If someone asked you, hey, where did you get this outfit? You'd just be like, oh, I got it from the mall. But you know, right? But now the conversation has completely changed. And I like that because it's more about what's sustainable, even for the planet. You know, when you talk about being an environmentalist and all that stuff, like people out there trying to save the planet and do stuff that's sustainable for the planet. So before we get into that, delve in more into that and your passion about that, tell us more about your company and your company's mission.
Okay. So, Finders Keepers Zambia is a thrift store. It started. That's such a general question. Should I start like from the beginning, or do we want like a summary?
No, like a summary, but it can highlight like the life of your business from beginning to now.
Okay, all right. So, it started out as a hobby. Actually, I feel like it goes way back because like before I was born, my mom actually had a secondhand clothing business. So that's something she did, and then she just kind of like fell out of it and like wasn't doing it anymore. So I would say like my first contact with secondhand clothing was her. I like to say I've been thrifting since I was in the womb, because technically I was. And then she would tell us about it because I grew up in Botswana, and thrifting there isn't big. There aren't really markets, so we never got to experience it. So she'll just tell us stories. Like when she visits Zambia, she'd bring us clothes like from Sally's, and they'll be so cool.
Exactly.
So when people like your story where you're talking about how like people didn't openly say that they bought stuff from Sally's, I couldn't relate. I was like, wait, this isn't cool? Because then I came to boarding school in Zambia, and then people would ask me like, oh, where'd you get this from? It's like, oh, Sally's. Because then we moved to Knitwear and we lived there for a couple of years, and we finally got to experience the market. I was so excited. It was a very nice experience. So I'd get really cool stuff, go to school, and people ask me like, where'd you get that? I'm Sally's. And they'll be like, you're not supposed to say that.
Don't say that.
Girl, don't say that. And I didn't get it. I was like, but why? I mean, that's where I got it from. So I didn't understand why it wasn't cool. So anyway, fast forward, I was in uni studying accounting. I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't passionate about it. And my getaway from like the stress of school was shopping. So I'd go thrifting a lot, and my friends would ask me like, okay, where'd you get that from? And then I would tell them, I'm like, okay, I'll take you. And then one day I was like, hold on, this could be money. Why am I taking these people there? So then I sold the vision to my sister, Lydia. And she was like, okay, let's do it. So she was the model. So if you go down on our Instagram page, she's rocking the clothes. I was the photographer. And we're just having fun with it. It was in our parents' backyard. We used like the gate as a backdrop. And we're just having fun with it. We opened a page. We thought as soon as we post, it's just going to blow up. Then we posted, and crickets. And we're so sad because we're like, these are cute. Why don't you want to buy them? And then we decided to have a sale. Obviously, you're not making profit because you're having a sale as soon as you've just like opened. But we thought, okay, that'll probably bring people. We boosted the post on Facebook, and we actually got some clients and managed to like sell all our stock. We were so excited. And that was like 2018. I can't remember the month. July? Somewhere there. And we're like, by the end of the year, we're gonna like have a store. We hadn't even made 1,000 kwacha. But we're like, no, we're gonna have a store. It was nice. We're just having fun. We never expected it to become what it is now.
Okay, so to give more context to the people who are watching that maybe don't really know what we're talking about right now, because they grew up in homes where they shopped at the mall. That was just standard for them. Okay, what is thrifting? What is upcycling? When you say, because I know on your page you say thrifted stroke upcycled. Yes, so what does that mean?
So I'll start off with like thrifting. So thrifting is basically buying secondhand clothing. And upcycling is where you basically take a piece of clothing and just kind of switch it up and turn it into something new. Like for example, you take like a t-shirt, take out a shirt. Take out the buttons, cut it out. If you're really good at sewing, even better. And just turn it into a skirt. So that's upcycling, basically just giving pieces of clothing a new life. Okay.
So other than what you shared earlier about this being a passion that you got from your mom and it being like an outlet for you, why really did you decide to venture into this kind of business? because from what you said, it kind of started out as a hobby, something that you and your sister thought you could do, but now it's kind of taken on a life of its own, and it's something that you're doing full time from what you've explained to me in the past. So how did it go from I'm at school, I'm doing accounts at school, this is a hobby, I'm just doing this with my sister, we dream of having a store, to now this is like your full-time work and what you're doing?
I'd say so after we started and we kept going at it, I'd say the feedback from people, because the kind of clothing that we were stocking is clothes we liked, and I guess we're hoping that there's obviously somebody out there who appreciate this as well, and we like the fact that people are like, oh, we like your pieces, they're so unique, this is something I'm not able to find. And it was just nice to give people options. And another thing that I'd say my favorite part about the whole thing is the fact that people really found our sizes inclusive. So it's so hard for me to shop as a big girl, and you guys have these options, and I didn't even know that was a problem. And I was like, oh, okay. So that even encouraged us to just find more inclusive sizes. And as much as initially we were stocking stuff that we liked, at some point we had to realize it's not just about us. So that made us start to get to know our clients and our community, and what is it that we want, what is it that they want, without us losing the initial plan, which was having unique pieces. We still have our style in there. Apart from the inclusive sizes and the style, the sustainability of it all is at the core, because we're at a place where clothes are being mass produced at such a fast pace, and a lot of them are just ending up in landfills, which is really bad for the environment. So it's what happens to those clothes when people are like, okay, new trend, what happens to we're over this, what happens to those other clothes? We don't always have to, there's nothing wrong with going with the trends, but not everybody wants to go with the trends, and that's okay. So we're okay, as the rest of the world moves on, we're gonna so we usually focus on stocking timeless pieces, because you know that 50 years from now you're going to still be wearing this, and also focusing on fabrics that are biodegradable, like cotton, linen, pieces like that, because we know that that's sustainable. Because thrifting is not the only way that you can be sustainable. You can go to Woolies and buy a linen shirt, and because it's biodegradable, you're being sustainable. Because if that does, I hope it doesn't, but if it does end up in a landfill, it's biodegradable. It's not gonna harm the environment. Okay. So in a nutshell,
I like where this conversation is going. It's very interesting. But back to what you had mentioned about being in Botswana and there not being much thrifting there, and here it's a thing, right? So do you think, even though it's a thing, that because of your clients and the interactions that you've had with different people that have kind of given you a cross section of the country somewhat, do you think that Zambia is in line with the rest of the world when it comes to sustainable fashion, thrifting, upcycling, or do you think we're just doing it just to do it? Do you think there's a purpose to it? What are your thoughts about where we are as a country and the direction that you are going with your business, and whether we're in line, we're on track, what are your thoughts?
I would say it's a 50-50 situation. I've interacted with a lot of clients who do understand that it's sustainable to shop secondhand clothing. Also, we've made a lot of progress compared to when we started. We had to constantly explain okay, what is this about? But now people know, they're doing their own research and doing their own learning. But I feel there's still a lot of education that needs to go into it. At the same time, I feel the thrifters sometimes as thrifters, we kind of make it seem like this is the only way to be sustainable, which is not the case. So I feel a lot of options, a lot of education needs to happen, so people know that they actually have a lot more options to be sustainable, because not everybody is okay with shopping secondhand clothing, and that's okay. But then they can still they still need to know that there's still other ways to be sustainable by shopping certain fabrics, and also just taking care of their clothes. It's not always about buying something new. The clothes you already have, I feel that's where it starts. How are you taking care of them? So that even when you're tired of this shirt, you can still like pass it on and the next person will enjoy it. So in 2018, September, I think it was about September, we hosted our first thrift market. So basically this was just like a pop-up that we invited other thrift businesses to come along. Initially it was just supposed to be for us because we didn't know that there were other people out there. And then we were like, okay, this is not sustainable. We couldn't afford to just be the only ones doing the pop-up. So we put it out there and we're like, okay, maybe other people would want to come. And we're so surprised there were so many people doing this thrifting that we didn't even know about. So that was exciting. And one of the activities we had at that was a closet swap. So basically the way a closet swap happens is people bring clothes from their closet that they don't really like wear anymore, or that they just feel like it's not their style anymore. So they bring pieces and then they bring pieces and then you basically just like swap. Because like one man's trash is another man's treasure. Like even though they have to be in good condition, so we had to like put that note, like make sure they're in good condition. And then so that's something that people really enjoyed. We did it a few times and then we just couldn't manage it anymore. So last year we brought it back in a more intimate space, which was easier to manage. And I feel like people appreciate it a lot more now than then. Also like with like a lot more education around sustainability that has happened. And that's been exciting because I've been able to get amazing stuff there because people are taking care of their clothes and I'm like, okay, I'll take that. And I'm also able to give the clothes that I don't wear a new home where they'll actually be appreciated.
I've never really thought about what you're saying in terms of sustainability and the environment and all that stuff. I know I should probably care more about the environment, especially as a parent, but for some reason that's just not something that comes into my mind when I think about buying secondhand clothing.
And that's understandable. For me, honestly, at first it was like nice clothes. 20 kwacha?
Yes, exactly. So I'm like happy. Even growing up, especially like I mentioned, being raised by a single mom, obviously when you're in a single parent household, you have to stretch the money that you have as far as you can. So it was more about the affordability. And then like growing up, you'd realize that if I buy something from maybe like a store at the mall, it's nice, yes, but after you wash it a few times, it fades quicker, or it loses the quality faster than the pieces that I got from the market. So you'd make those decisions even as a teenager of, okay, if I want to buy a pair of jeans that will last longer, I would rather get them from the market than from the mall. So for me at that time, those were the reasons. Those are like my main reasons. And then when I came across your page, my main reason for shopping with you was just because the pieces were cute. So I didn't really care about sustainability. I wasn't really thinking about the environment. I wasn't really thinking about, okay, I want to make sure that the pieces that I'm getting are, you know, they have this story and I'm giving them a new home and all that jazz, which is great. And I'm learning a lot from this conversation. But the main thing was, this is a cute piece and I like the price, so I'm going to buy it. You know what I mean? So when we look at other women who maybe are like myself and all they want are just cute pieces for their wardrobe, or maybe they are thinking about sustainable fashion and they're thinking about some of the things that you've mentioned, what advice would you have for them if they want to start out trying to build their wardrobe with this information in mind, or they're trying to educate themselves more about what you're talking about and be more responsible with their clothes purchases moving forward, and think about some of the things that you've mentioned? Do I wear this often? When was the last time I wore this? Is this really something that I want to keep? Can I pass this on to somebody? And they're trying to, you know, rotate their wardrobe in that sense. What advice would you have for such a person?
Okay, I think firstly, what you said about you going up and rather buying like a pair of jeans from the market than a regular store, you were already being sustainable. You just didn't know like that was the term.
Yes, exactly.
Because the fact that it's more durable and it's better quality, it's gonna last you longer. Like before you're thinking of buying another pair of jeans, like that will last you so long. Like maybe you'll be thinking of buying a pair of jeans like 5 years later. Okay, maybe that's a bit much. 2 years later. So you actually were already. And it's so nice that like the more you do it and then there's more access to information, you kind of get to know like a lot more about it. And you're like, oh, so this is what I'm actually doing. And I feel like that was the same case for me because before it was just, this is fun, this is cheap, they're cute, why not? And then later on I was like, oh, there's a whole other world to it. Yeah. So I would say the advice I would give, like if you're trying to build a sustainable wardrobe, is first of all, start off with versatile pieces. Something that you know that you can pair with like a lot of stuff. Yeah. Because then if you buy this piece that you know only goes with that one pair of jeans, you're probably gonna wear it like once a year. Yeah. And I'm already a culprit for that. Because I like prints so much. And at some point I only had so many prints in my wardrobe. And I looked, I'm like, okay, this is not working. Because how many things can I actually like pair this with? So I had to sit down and like start doing like a, what do they call it?
An inventory.
Yes, and a closet audit.
Right.
Yes. And when we were preparing for one of our closet swaps last year, I was doing some research on like how to just share more information on how people can pick what clothes to get rid of. Because sometimes you look at your wardrobe and you're like, no, I love everything.
Yeah.
And you do.
Which is me most of the time.
That is me too.
Yeah.
But do you wear them?
Yeah.
So like one of the questions they said you should ask yourself is, have I worn this in the last 6 months? 6 months is a long time. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, why haven't I worn it? Like, no, I'm saving it for like you know, maybe someone might get married. Someone
maybe
might
when I lose a few pounds.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think also like having very serious conversations with yourself and being honest. And this is something I also had to learn how to do. I'm still learning how to do. Yeah. But yeah, being honest with yourself. Do I wear this? Am I really gonna wear this? And if you're not, let go of it. Like, let it go somewhere else. Because before you know it, you're just hoarding stuff. Yeah.
And then you have no room in your closet even for the new stuff that you keep buying.
Exactly. And also you don't even see the new stuff because then they just get lost.
Yeah.
And then like 1 year later, you're like, I still have this cut top.
Yeah.
Let it go. And then also, so apart from having versatile pieces, also just fabrics that will last you a very long time.
So talk a bit more about the whole fabric situation, because I don't really know much about fabric. Like I know they say 100% cotton and all that stuff, but really like when I'm buying something, if I just like the way it feels in a shop, then I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not really thinking about what fabric is this made of, or let me look at the tag. So try and educate us a bit more about what we should be looking out for if we're trying to build a sustainable wardrobe.
Okay. So I think I mentioned earlier cotton. Cotton is really good. Linen, rayon, knitwear is actually very sustainable as well. I usually say when you buy knitwear, that's literally an investment for I don't know how long. Because like I'm sure you have sweaters from 10 years ago that are still intact. So I think knit wool as well. What else have I said? Did I say rayon?
Yes.
Okay, I'm running out of fabrics. Tweed. I also really like tweed for winter. Okay. It's one of those fabrics that's just so timeless and so beautiful. I really want to like go back and just see like the craftsmanship of people making like tweed pieces. So pieces like that. And then there's also blends. They usually take like these fabrics and then just blend them with themselves, like a linen and cotton blend. Every time I say that, I feel so technical. That's one of my favorite blends. It just feels so nice. And I think like you mentioned how like when you go shopping, you just feel it and you're like, I like how it feels. That's a good thing actually, because when you start checking the tags, you realize that you're actually buying the same things because you like how it feels. And that's how on my end I started to know about these fabrics. Like I'll feel it, I'm like, this feels nice. And then I'll check the tag, like, what is this? And then I started to see a pattern. I'm like, I like these fabrics because every time I'll check the tag, I'm like, oh, it's linen. Yeah. So, and also wearing clothes that feel nice on your skin is a good thing. So yeah, feel the fabric, like how it feels. Google is your friend. Just Google it. Google it. Yeah. But I would say like, those fabrics are really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I've shared with you in our private conversations when I buy stuff from you is how I like how your clothes make me feel. You know, after having kids, weight gain, body change, all that stuff, I've always been a jean and t-shirt girl, like growing up, very tomboyish, not really a dress person, never really liked dresses. But now the season that I'm in right now and trying to navigate my body shape, this new body shape, and accepting my new body shape.
Which looks amazing, by the way.
Thank you. I'm finding myself wearing more dresses and leggings, and that's kind of like the style that I'm leaning more towards. And I've shared that with you of, thank you, because of shopping with Finders Keepers. Like, I am happy when I walk out of the house. I'm like, okay, I look good, I'm happy. So I'm sure I'm not the only person that has shared that with you, and as you've dealt with different clients over the years of building your business. So what is like the most rewarding thing you would say in terms of helping women feel more empowered, more comfortable in what they are wearing, more confident to do life in whatever they are doing, whether it's business, whether it's at the office, whether it's momming, whatever they're doing, but they're wearing your pieces. What would you say is the most like rewarding thing as you've helped empower women in that sense?
I would say it's what you said, actually. I think even when we were doing this, that wasn't even like what we were expecting, the end goal. Because personally, when I, like, clothes make me so happy. I light up. When I wear a certain piece, I'm like, I'm so excited. And it just makes me feel good. So I like the fact that relationship I already have with clothes has kind of, has moved on. Is that the word? Has evolved, even, and been passed on. Like, the clients also experience that, because I do get a lot of clients like what you said, and when you sent me that message, like, it touched my heart. Because sometimes, like, entrepreneurship is hard. It is so hard. And I feel like clients don't even realize like what they're doing when they send you this feedback, and it just keeps you going, because sometimes it's hard and you're just like, okay, it's time to maybe find a plan B. And then they send you the messages, and you're like, oh, like, the money's good, but I feel like that's a lot more rewarding to know that this is actually changing people's lives, and people feel good in what they're wearing. And it's so important to feel good about yourself. When we had our physical store, one of the clients came in, and she was like, I want to come here every day because you people have just said so many nice things to me, and I just feel so good about myself. And it makes me so sad. I feel like, especially for, like, there's women who come in and I'm like, but you're so beautiful. And they're just like so insecure. And I do understand, because we have like beauty standards. And I wish they could just see like how beautiful they are.
I think like, from my personal experience, probably the challenge as to why as women we tend to even feel more insecure, like, aside from the beauty standards, TV, media, and all that stuff that's screaming at you of what you should be, I think the challenge is trying to fit yourself in your former style. So, okay, in my 20s, this is what I used to wear, and now when I wear that, it doesn't look the same, because obviously my body's changed after having kids, and you want to stay in that box because that's the style that you want to be married to, rather than evolving. So I think platforms like yours give us the liberty to evolve, and for me to be that person that says, I wasn't a dress person, but now I wear dresses because your dresses are cool and they're cute, and they don't make me feel old. They don't make me feel, like, growing up would be like, hey, those granny dresses. But that's not what you're stocking. So when I wear dresses that I got from you, I feel more confident. I feel good in my skin. Yes, I might not be the size that I want right now, and I'm working on it. I'm working out. I'm doing all the things. But right now, this is the size that I am, and I should embrace that. So I think it's like a catch-22. That's why I would say you would have women that you would say this person is beautiful, but they probably don't feel that way because of the clothes that they're wearing.
That's so profound. I don't even know what to say. And like what you've said, like, I feel like especially last year, a lot of our clients are becoming mothers. There are a lot of young mothers, which on my end it's a bit hard to navigate, because whether I like it or not, I will never be able to relate until I get to that stage. Because I'm not a mom. But I've just learned so much, and it's also given me like a lot more respect for moms, because like this human comes and changes everything. And you have these women saying like, exactly, I don't even know what size I am anymore. Yeah. So, and I found so much joy in helping them like find their new style. Like, I don't know what size I am. Like, okay, let's measure you. What size are you now? Let's find something that will make this body look good. Because I'm a strong believer in everybody's beautiful. There is a piece of clothing or a style that would just like make you look really good. Yeah. So like all hope is not lost, and it's amazing that you're working towards getting to that body goal, your goal. Because at the end of the day, it's about you feeling good about yourself. As much as I can say you look beautiful, it's about you. And if you feel I need to like work out and get to this body size to feel good, then do that. And in the meantime, I'm gonna help you find pieces that make you look good now. So yeah, that's been really rewarding. It feels good. Because even when they walk out, you can see that they're genuinely happy. Like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. I'm very happy. And yeah, it's been my gift to the world. Yeah.
For the guys watching, obviously Finders Keepers Zambia is not the store for you right now. Because
we once in a while we do have male pieces, especially winter.
Yes.
And I feel like one of the reasons also is it's not so easy to find male pieces. It's something we do want to get into. We just need to figure out the supply situation. But for now, shop with us in winter.
Yeah. So other than that, other than the sweaters, where would you direct the guys to go if they're trying to also get into this conversation and into this practice? What are some places that you could recommend to say, okay, check these guys out?
Definitely come to the thrift market, because we have multiple thrift businesses that come to the market, and they're they sell male pieces. There's places like Kontama. They actually have a physical store in Woodlands at, I hope I'm saying this right, Atelier Camario? I'm sorry, I may have butchered that name, but they have amazing pieces for guys, so you can shop with them. You can shop with a page called Get Thrifty. Unfortunately, some of the businesses that come to the market don't have like
social media
pages. They use WhatsApp. But come to the thrift market. There's a lot of options for the guys, and it's nice to see that when we started like years ago, there's a lot more growth for the guys. I don't know why. I think you guys at the men's conference talk about this because you understand yourselves best, no? So they should create that that space.
Where you're talking about the thrift market? Where are they?
So currently we are at Twin Palms every first. So it changes every year. So I'd say for now, every first weekend of the month we'll be at Twin Palms Mall.
So both Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, So catch us there. And you can also follow the page, the Thrift Market ZM, in case we have like any new venues pop up. You can find all the information there.
So you mentioned entrepreneurship be hard, which yes, as an entrepreneur I know that very well. But what keeps you going are the rewarding moments. So tell us about, from your journey, you starting with your sister in your parents' backyard to now, what would you say is one of the most challenging situations that you've experienced, and then one of the most rewarding?
So I'll start with the challenging. So the most challenging part for me was how hard it was for like starting up. And I feel like now that I'm more grown, looking back, I get it. My parents, let's start there. You know how your parents have like a plan for you. You're gonna be an accountant, you're gonna get a job, you're gonna be fine. And then you come to them and you're like, no. Then they're like, what do you mean you want to sell salaula? What do you mean?
Oh my gosh, that sounds so bad when you say it like that, but wow.
What do you mean? So that was the most challenging part. My dad, he embraced it a lot more. He was like, okay, figure it out. Take your time. My mom, on the other hand, which I feel like hurt me a lot more, because I'm like, but
you used to do
this.
How can you do this?
How can you? But I feel like when she was doing it then, it was still looked down on. And it's not something that she saw going beyond like it just being a small thing to like get you by. So I think that was the hardest part. Like it was a constant lecture, like, okay, what's your plan, Marianne? I don't know, I'm also trying to figure it out, So I would say that was the most challenging part. I expected it to just be like, oh, you want to do this? We embrace it. Yay. So I think that was definitely the hardest part. And the most would I say this is the most rewarding? I don't know. But over the years, my mom has, like, there's been a turnaround. She's actually my partner in the business now. So that's been exciting. And also, when you're talking about like how bodies change, her body is changing, and she shops at Finders Keepers. So you actually see her getting so excited about the clothes. And her whole wardrobe at this point is just Finders Keepers. Yeah.
Awesome.
To basically see someone fight you and say, girl, this ain't it. To actually like embrace it, my partner, and also just seeing them finding beauty in the business, not just because it's my daughter's, but and not because I'm a partner, but I also appreciate the clothes and they make me feel good. And I would say that's basically it. We're having a lot of fun with it, and I feel like that's also definitely brought us closer.
Because I've been to the market and I've seen her there.
Yeah, she's always there.
So as a final thought to somebody who's watching this video, maybe they are skeptics and they're like, sad, like Salaula is not my jam, you know, or it's something that they're looking into getting into, but they haven't known where to start from. Whatever their situation is, what would be like your final advice or final thought that you'd want to leave with the people watching?
So to the skeptics, first of all, secondhand clothing shopping isn't for everybody, and that's okay. But if you are like in the space where it's something you want to try out, I would say come to Finders Keepers. We post all our stock, well, most of our stock on our Instagram page. So go through that. I feel like it's also it's a less overwhelming option as compared to like going to town. That's very overwhelming, even for me. Start with online thrift stores. There's actually so many. If you just type thrift stores Zambia, they'll come up. There's a lot of them, and they deliver to you, so you don't have to leave your house. But if you'd like a situation where you actually like go there physically, try them on, come to the thrift market. That's also a great place to go to, where there's like a lot of options. There's also thrift stores that actually have physical spaces, like Kontama. I'm trying to think of who else has a physical space. The rest have gone, but there are like others that do have physical spaces. So that's a great place to start. Have a feel of it, and baby steps. You won't get it like immediately, but baby steps. But also it's a great experience. And also try a closet swap. The feeling after, amazing. We're probably gonna have one. We don't have a date yet, but
maybe I'll come
on a page. You should come. It's so much fun. It's so much fun, because you literally wonder, why is somebody letting go of this? It's so much fun.
All right, well, thanks again, Marianne, for taking the time, coming and sharing your knowledge, your passion with not just me but the people watching.
Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
Thanks. To all of you guys watching out there, I hope that this has been an interesting conversation for you, at least even a conversation starter with friends, you know, with your workmates, whether you're a guy or a girl. I hope that this is a conversation that you can continue beyond this video. And don't forget that your chance to fight is a privilege, and you guys are definitely worth the fight, even when it comes to fashion.